Hi, welcome to another episode of Cookalong with Katie from Cookery Doodle Doo. Before I get cooking this week, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's donated to my fundraiser for Naomi House and Jack's Place. Obviously through lockdown I had no intention whatsoever of charging for these videos, but the opportunity to use them as a basis for raising some money for my favourite charity was just one I couldn't pass by. So we're almost there in terms of the target I set. So the fundraising I've done always alongside my business for the first 5 years raised £564.64, and I think we're at £7 at the moment of filming of making that within a week. So that's just absolutely unbelievable, and thank you very much. Okay, so today we are going to make a strawberry milkshake cake batter, which you can use in two different ways. So you can either go the slightly more sophisticated route, which is to put some strawberry jam in the middle, and they make what are called Duffins, which is basically a cross between a donut and a muffin. So we're going to make those, and then when they come out of the oven we're going to dip them into a mixture of more strawberry milkshake powder mixed with sugar, and then you'll get that lovely kind of sugary outside that you associate with a donut, a jammy donut. Alternatively, we're going to leave the jam out of the middle to save them getting too sweet, but we're then going to decorate them to look like little pink piggies. So we're going to make some icing using the strawberry milkshake powder instead, and we're going to use some marshmallows and a couple of other bits just to decorate them up to look like little cute piggies. So this might be one, if your little one's into Peppa Pig for example, this might be a fantastic recipe to do for them or with them. So I'm going to start here. We've got 60 grams of melted butter. And the first thing I'm going to do is put in the sugar. I've got 40 grams of caster sugar here. That goes straight in. And I'm just going to mix that together. With the melted butter. And then we're going to crack an egg straight into there. You've seen me crack an egg so many times now, so we're going to tap and listen. There we go, there was the sound change. We'll find the hole, big one this time. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs go together, little kiss into the egg together, and then they have that argument. They pull the shell as they go away from each other, and that's how we crack an egg. I've actually got a bit of shell in there today. So the best way to do that is just get the eggshell half and pop it in, and the eggshell is, in theory, attracted to it, and it walks its way straight in there. Okay, just put the rest of the egg back in there. Okay, I'm just going to use a little fork now to just whisk up that egg a little bit. The reason I always crack an egg into a bowl first, just in case it's off, you can tell and not put it in your mixture, but much more likely these days, just if you get a bit of shell, it's much easier to get out before you put it into your cake mix. Okay, so the egg goes in with that butter and sugar. Give that another little mix. And then here's what gives the cakes a beautiful strawberry flavour. We've got 30 grams of just normal, this is Nesquik, but any brand I suppose if you can get others, of strawberry milkshake powder. That goes straight in. And we're going to give that a mix together now. And you can see that goes an amazing pink colour. Deliberately use my blue bowl, not my pink one, so you can see. You see that lovely colour there? Now if you want these really, really pink, because it does bake out a little bit, is just put a tiny bit of red or pink food colouring in. Don't go mad, you've got plenty in there already. Okay, I'm just going to put one drop in. There we go. And that will just help it hold that colour. It's absolutely optional. If you don't have the food colouring, don't worry. Although, if you want to join in with our grand finale recipe next week, the last of these cook down videos, unless something goes horribly wrong, you're going to need at least a red, a yellow and a blue, the primary colours of food colouring. Right, there we go, and then the last thing to go in is 80 grams of self-raising flour. Just all go straight in. Stir slowly to begin with, we don't want a big cloud of flour in our faces. mostly mixed in. Just go a bit faster to get this incorporated. There we go. Once all that flour's mixed in, we can stop. You can have another look at the colour now. If it's not pink enough, you could always add some more, but for my money, that's absolutely fine. There we go. So I've got a muffin tray here. I've got two different colour cases, and that's because I'm going to make both sorts. So my pink cases here are going to be my pink piggies, and then the red ones are going to be my strawberry duffins. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've actually got an ice cream scoop here, which might be a bit easier. I'm going to share out just a bit into each one. Try not to be too messy. Now, if you're making the pink piggies, you can just keep sharing out until all 6 have an equal amount. If you're making the strawberry duffins, you just want a little bit at the bottom first, and then you need to stop because we're going to put our strawberry jam in the middle. Okay, so these 3 here, my 3 red cup cases. If we're making the strawberry duffins, I'm just going to get a little spoonful of strawberry jam, and I'm going to try and float it on top. It does have a bit of a tendency to sink because this is quite a bit heavier than that mixture. So try not to push it down. It'll work its way downwards anyway. There we go. Don't put too much either because it'll just bubble up and spill out. But we now need to cover that jam up. There we go. And then the rest of my mixture goes back into those pink piggies. Okay, so these are going to go into the oven at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes until they're well risen, springy to the touch. They obviously won't be sort of properly golden because they're pink, but they will have that kind of golden air about them. They certainly won't look as pink on the surface as they do in the middle. But I'm going to take these out of the oven and leave them for about 5 minutes for the duffins. But while they're still warm, but not hot enough to burn you, what you're going to do with those is I've got a little bowl here with some caster sugar and some strawberry milkshake powder mixed together, sort of half and half. And I'm literally going to get the warm cupcake in my hand, holding the case. I'm going to turn it upside down and dip it into that mixture so that the mixture sticks to the top of the cake, and that is what will make them into the duffins, the strawberry duffins. Okay, so I'll show you what they look like a bit later on, but I'm going to let these cakes cool because obviously I'm going to show you how to decorate the pink piggies as well. So I will see you in a bit. Okay, so the cakes are out of the oven. When they were warm enough to handle, I got my strawberry duffins and I dipped them into my strawberry milkshake powder and caster sugar mixture, and I actually sprinkled a bit on top and let it sit for a little while as well, just to let the heat of the cake kind of melt it slightly and just make it stick better, and then just tipped any excess off. So that is how the strawberry duffins look. So there we go with the jam in the middle and the sugar on top. That is as close to a jammy donut as you're going to get without deep frying, I think. So that's those. Here are our pink piggies. We've got one enormous one. And what we're going to do now is decorate those to look like little piggies. So I've got the rest of my strawberry milkshake powder and sugar mix here because there's no point wasting that. But it is going to need some more icing sugar in there. So I've got about a teaspoon of milkshake powder. I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons of icing sugar, and I've just got some hot water out of the kettle here just because it helps mix it slightly better. All I'm going to do, I want a relatively thick icing. I'm just going to stir those together, and you see the strawberry milkshake powder, not only does it taste delicious, but it makes it a beautifully pink colour. So we won't need any more food colouring for these. There we go. The hot water just helps dissolve that strawberry milkshake powder as well. Depending on how many cakes you're making, obviously you might need to make a larger quantity than this. Just keep adding water or icing sugar until you've got the consistency you need. That will do for me. And then I'm just going to show you one here because it's pretty boring watching me decorate cakes. But what I've got for these 3 cakes is I've got 3 big marshmallows, so 1 each. I've got 3 little marshmallows, and obviously because of the job I do, I've got some little candy eyes. You don't need to have those. If you don't have them, certainly don't bother getting any. You could use chocolate chips, you could use Nerds, you could use Skittles, anything like that that will make a little eye shape for you. So they really don't have to be the candy eyes that I've got here. But all I'm going to do is chop these marshmallows in half. Okay, let's just move these actually, so that we're just focusing on one cake. Okay, so we've got our 1 big marshmallow that we've cut in half. That's going to be my snout. And the other one is going to be my ears. So I'm just going to cut that in half. And if you've seen the picture, I think he looked a bit scary the way I had him, so I'm going to do the ears slightly differently. I'm going to pinch them like that to make a slightly more ear shape. And then this one I'm going to cut in half, the little mini marshmallow. Mind your fingers, children, if you're doing this. It's quite small to cut up. But when you cut a marshmallow, it's quite sticky in the middle, so you can use that to actually help you poke it onto the big marshmallow. Open it up so that you've got your sticky bit exposed, and then just poke it on. Give it a good push because it'll spring back up again. So there's our little snout, which I've now stuck to the plate. There we go. And our 2 ears and our eyes. So I'm just going to get this icing. Just move those out of the way a little bit. I'm just going to put on a good blob of icing. You want it thick enough that it's going to coat the cake, but thin enough that it will actually spread out. You don't want it all down stuck to the paper. But I'm going to take this right to the edges so it really does look like a little piggy face. Normally I stop a bit short so that you don't end up having to suck the paper, but I think it's probably worth it on this occasion. There we go. I could have made it a little bit thicker. But there we go. Just make sure it's nice and pink. That's it. Right, and then all we're going to do is pop on a little snout. It starts to slide around a bit as it's setting. You can always just move it back into position. There are the little ears. Oh, they're a better shape. Don't do it the way I did it in the picture. Do it this way. Oops. You will stay. And then 2 little eyes. Now obviously piggy eyes ideally need to be quite small and quite close together. So there's one little piggy eye. And there's another little piggy eye. So there we are. Pink piggy cupcakes and strawberry duffins. I really, really hope you enjoy them, and I will see you for the very last video next week.